Good evening. Today is August the 10th. My video tonight is your light shining? I had a conversation with a dear friend recently, and we got to talking about that. And I was reminded of my childhood. I went to church camp, was very involved in church. Really was looking forward when we went to church each Sunday. I didn't really learn what a true relationship was. That just wasn't taught back then. At the same time, as I started getting older and got into my teens, I began to notice that everything that we were being taught and everything that was preached, the evidence for it was there during the preaching and teaching. But just as soon as you walked out the door and got in the parking lot, there was no evidence of God even being in their lives whatsoever. It was completely put away. And by the time I hit 15, I had serious doubt as to whether any of it was even real. And because of that, I fell away from the Lord. And I spent the next 20 years running the other direction. Although I didn't realize I was doing that, I just knew that I didn't believe in God anymore. But all through that time, I look back now, and all through that time, I can see where God was still involved, still had his hand on me. He was trying to pull me back and save me from myself, but I just didn't want to hear it. I can remember as I started driving truck over the road, I would meet people and they're like, they would try and share the Lord with me, but I'd tell them, I said, I'm not even interested. I don't even want to hear anything you've got to say. Like I say, I was fighting that battle. Although I didn't realize it then, I just knew, or thought I knew, that I didn't need any of that. So, long story short, I was in the middle of nowhere out in Pennsylvania and got a New Testament Bible that they were giving out and started reading it. And I realized then that my mistake had been I was putting my faith in man. And the Bible states clearly that we need to put our faith in God because man is fallible and will make mistakes. So time moved on, and the more I thought about it, I sat there and I prayed, okay, God, I don't know if you're real or not, but I'm going to put this out here. I'm asking you to show me the woman you want in my life for the rest of my life. Because if you're real, you'll know how my heart is. And I'm going to leave it up to you. You show me the woman you want, and we'll take it from there. So the next day, I had an open vision. The clouds peeled back across the sky, and I seen a choir celebrating up there in the sky, in the clouds. And of course, I had to say it. I said, okay, God, you have my attention. There was no doubt about it. And long story short, from that point, a woman from Alabama, who I could have never imagined meeting in Colorado where I lived and drove truck, was driving truck at the same trucking company. And that is how we met. And coming this month, it will be 39 years that we have been married. It's with God involved, it hasn't always been smooth. We've struggled, we've had battles. Of course, we have to remember that we live in a fallen world. But God has seen us through every step of the way. Just remember 1 John 4:4. Greater is he who is in me than the one who is in the world. And remember to let your light shine. You can't battle the things that we have to battle in this world if your light isn't shining so that other people can see it. That was the mistake that I went through, in that nobody was showing that they actually believed in God. What we need believers that when they get out, their light is like a beacon, brighter than anything else. And there's no doubt when you talk to people or meet them, there's no doubt that you're a believer and follower of Christ. It's not like you're living undercover. You know, James 4:7 tells us to submit yourself then to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. He's a paper tiger. And his roar is all show. If you plant your feet in the ground and you resist your spiritual enemy, we got a promise from God that he will flee. So be alert, stand firm, be strong. Remember, the only power he has is what you give him. And let your light shine so that others can see it. Share it. Let them know that believers and followers of Christ are a real thing, and that we care for the world and the people in it just like Jesus does. If you will believe and operate in everything that's in the Bible, anything is possible. See, I didn't know that, didn't find any of that until I finally read the Bible. And see, you know, all this, your light shining, all this. Okay, if you're not feeding on God's Word, if you're not sharing God's Word, if you're not studying it, praying it, and spending time with God, okay, you're not going to have a relationship that's going to help others. Matter of fact, you could wind up with a relationship that hurts others. You know, it's all about being close to God and then letting that light shine for others. So, I know there's a lot here. Could have went a lot longer, I promise you. There's still a lot that could be said. But spend time with the Lord. Don't hide your light. And reach out and help others that need to be raised up. So, pray blessings over each and every one of you. I love you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.